What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar thus far, what's going on with news affecting the markets, and also what's happening with Tesla. So we have some very important Chinese numbers to be going over, not to mention other things like that. But before I break into all this information, before I break down what's happening with Tesla stock and all this data, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, for Tesla's thing is currently up in the pre-market trying to push right now. We got some good news that came out from the Chinese sales, and they did see a slight increase for the previous week, which is a good piece of news for them, especially as we're getting very, very close to Tesla's big delivery date in just about a week from now. So we have some big news coming out for Tesla in about a week, and so far we got some good news. But let me first talk about some data before I break down these charts. As a reminder, today is going to be Wednesday, March 27th, and the market's going to open very soon. I'm looking at this, I'm not really seeing any significant data throughout the entire day that's coming out. But let me just note that at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the 17-week bill auction. We also have the 2-year FRN auction as well at that time. Then we have the 7-year notes auction at 1 p.m. Then Waller giving a speech after the market closes. So just a couple of bill auctions is all I'm really seeing that's significant. Everything else is very, very minor data. So we'll just see how things end up moving from here. Now, moving forward, when it comes to SPY's option chain, I just want to mention that we have very few options expiring for today and also for tomorrow. But don't forget that for Friday, not Friday, sorry, the market's closed on Friday. I'm referring to Thursday. Thursday is going to be the last trading day of the week. We're going to treat that as if it's Friday. For Thursday, we have about 400,000 calls and over 2 million puts expiring, 4.95 put to call ratio. That's incentivizing possibly the market makers to pump the markets more. Markets have slipped a bit, but now we're starting to see some interesting changes today in the pre-market. There's news coming out that Boeing's CEO is stepping down at the end of the year as the company deals with many quality and manufacturing flaws on its planes, and they're going to have to be looking for a new one who's going to be once again replacing him. There's also stuff coming out right here as once again McDonald's plans to sell Krispy Kreme donuts at all U.S. locations by the end of 2026. That's big news for them. Adam Newman basically wants to take his old company out of bankruptcy, the former CEO of WeWork, and basically they're going to be looking for an acquisition plan and other things like that. So that's some big news that's been coming out, and that's all I'm seeing on the news. That's like non-political and stuff like that. Anyways, for Tesla, I just want to mention that Tesla has this news coming out that Elon Musk is mandating Tesla to install and demo the full FSD beta for every few new deliveries. So that's going to be some very, very interesting news for them because they want to expand this capability of the FSD beta, get more data out there, and then get more coverage for it. That's going to be interesting as well. There's going to be a lot of expenses for people if they do want to end up acquiring that. And then moving forward, they're going to try to boost the new take rate as many employees are confirming that they're going to be installing the FSD beta on all new cars and give a short test drive for many of the new buyers, which is going to give them like a safety score and etc. So interesting news. Expanding the scope of this would be very, very interesting, especially for people who qualify, and that's going to be very interesting. Anyways, for other pieces of news, Tesla China registrations have gone up, which is another very, very awesome thing. So this is between March 18th and March 24th. We got about 13,200 insurance registrations. That's a very, very good sign so far. The previous week, we actually had about only 12,000. Now they did about 13,000. So not the strongest numbers overall, but it is a slight increase by about 7.32%. That is a decent sign right over here. I'm actually seeing this in all the data right there. Now, let me actually show you guys this chart right here. So we posted about 13,200 insured registrations for the week of March 18th through the 24th. With 1 week left of Q1, Tesla insurance registrations were about 116,500, and they are a little bit down quarter over quarter. So this is still what the data looks like. You guys can see it right here. So right here, our overall, insurance data is still not as strong as what we saw in previous quarters for 2023, but there is a slight increase, so that's still kind of decent for them. And overall, for Q1 2024, we're at the lowest we've seen in total deliveries for pretty much the last 5 quarters out of all of them. This is still the lowest looking numbers, not the best of signs. So you guys can see right here, we have some very, very interesting changes for Tesla. Moving forward, now let's just break down what's happening with the chart. So as far as the chart goes, the chart's very excited about this, especially as we're approaching deliveries. Tesla's trying to push right now, and we're testing this resistance that we rejected off of previously. If we push more, watch 180 as resistance, and then watch 177.6 as supports, followed by 175. In my opinion, the chart's looking bullish right now because if we do break this high right here at this 178 area and try to break through this, 180 is going to be our next targets, then eventually 182.5 and 184. I think that the chart's looking bullish, especially because on the 4 hour time frame, we're actually seeing a very, very nice PPO crossover right here. Now we're seeing some bullish momentum that's developing. So I do see potential for at least 180, then 182 to be coming for Tesla. If we break past the 182s, we could easily come up to, attempts to fill our gap up here. That's going to be a very, very strong possibility right before deliveries. So I do see some more upside potential for Tesla. I think that going into the morning, we're going to be looking for a move to at least 180, maybe a little bit higher. It's like 182 or so. We could come back down later, and then we could pump even more if we break past that. So it looks bullish to me. On SPY, I want to call out how SPY is actually showing some potential. If we look at the hourly time frame, one thing I've been talking about is how we had this bull flag on SPY, and I was talking about how if we get that break, that's going to be a good sign for us. Now this is kind of resembling an inverse head and shoulders on SPY. As you can see it right over here. As long as we try to base around 521, buyers try to defend us and start pushing us back up. This can easily start pushing back up to at least 523, but we have to bounce right here. If we sink lower, we could be retesting 520, but we have to see buyers defend 521. There's a nice inverse head and shoulders. SPY is attempting to break from this bull flag. So this looks bullish overall, but we have to get a bounce from here. We are showing some life on SPY. There's a very good chance we try to push higher. If we break 522, watch 523, 524, and then 526 as our next targets. For support, watch 520. If we lose this, a bigger drop could come. But in my opinion, it might come down, shuffle a bit, and try to rebound. So watch for that potential move. On the QQQ, we're seeing something very similar. So we got a break above 446.73. So this is actually kind of symmetrical with this. We could retrace a bit more. If we do retrace a bit, we could actually retest like the 444s. That is always a possibility before we could backtest this like white trend line. And then we could get a big bounce and eventually a breakout to like 449. So I'm seeing that as another possibility on the QQQ. Or we could just base at 446. So I see it kind of like testing 446 and bouncing, or if it drops a little lower, it could retest this yellow trend line, get closer to 444, and then get that big bounce. So look for a little downside on the QQQ, not maybe not like not that much significant downside, but a little bit of a cool off before it tries to continue to go higher. I find that to be very likely. So far, so good from the triple Q. For Nvidia, we're bullish. I said that Nvidia might retrace to about 950 in my previous video before we try to bounce. It actually tested that in the pre-markets, and now we're trying to push. So I would say with this bullish accumulation structure, and if you look at the 4 hour time frame, we're looking pretty good on the chart. We're actually showing more potential, in my opinion. And on top of all of this, you have to remember that Nvidia is attempting to push higher from here from this white trend line. So I see a very, very nice attempt to go higher. I think that Nvidia is showing some nice signs of life, and we could see this thing actually get a break towards the all-time highs essentially as time goes on. So I think that with this uptrend, watch resistance right over here around this 960 area. If we break through that, we could be pushing all the way up to 974 again. If we lose support at 950, a bigger drop will come. We could drop a bit and start pushing higher towards at least 965 and eventually 974. I would say the chart is still looking bullish. For Apple, I would say that Apple's in a decent place right now. It is showing some potential. It came down to about this 169 area, got bought back up again. But it's not getting a big breakout yet. It's still kind of shuffling within this range. If it breaks 170.9, look for a push towards 172.5 and then watch support at 170. It is still kind of range bound, so I think that it could drop a little bit to like 170, then bounce back up to about 172, then come back down. So that's all it's basically doing. It's kind of stuck between 169 and 172. May dip a bit, then start pushing back up higher, but we haven't got an official breakout of 172.5. So as of right now, we're still range bound, and we have to give this some time. Anyways, that's it for the video. As far as Amazon goes, we're fighting above 180. We're showing some more strength, so it could actually break out towards 182. Amazon's looking bullish so far, hasn't really broken down yet. Meta of all things is still kind of flat at uh, basically 505. So just be a little bit careful there. But anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for listening. Just know that Tesla is looking pretty good right now. It has more bullish potential. Watch 178 as resistance. We'll see how it does around here as we're at this previous rejection area. But it has potential to break out even higher, especially when we open it. It loves to push more. So let's see if it tries to actually continue to go a little higher from here. So watch what Tesla does. If it does turn back down a bit, it could return to about 175 and then continue higher. But overall, the chart is still bullish regardless of which way it goes. Okay, so watch and see what it does. It could actually pop a little bit when we open, and we'll see how things go from here. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.